Welcome to today's Explainer. We're treating this one as a mindful nutrition class. So if you've ever felt like you're fighting a losing battle with your weight, or honestly, if you're just exhausted by the endless cycle of restricting what you eat, I want you to take a deep breath. Today, we're tossing out the quick fixes. We're going to explore a biologically sustainable approach to health, looking at the actual science behind why restrictive diets fail and why finding balance is the true secret to long-term well-being.
Here's our syllabus for today's class. The yo-yo diet trap, your body's weight thermostat, leptin, ghrelin, and hunger, the power of intuitive eating, superfoods for hormone balance, and lastly, daily mindful nutrition habits. Let's jump right in.
Section 1. The yo-yo diet trap. Understanding the cycle. Let's kick things off by completely removing the guilt associated with dieting. Seriously, if the weight always comes back, you are not broken. Your body is just functioning exactly as biology intended. So why do diets always seem to fail? You know the drill. You start strong, you celebrate that initial weight loss, but then the fatigue sets in. It turns out extreme dieting attempts actually trigger a remarkably powerful biological defense mechanism.
And this brilliantly illustrates what researcher Kelly D. Brownell coined the yo-yo effect. It's literally a cycle. You start an extreme caloric diet. Initially, sure, you lose weight, but you're losing precious muscle right alongside the fat. Because of that, your body basically panics and enters a starvation response. Then, when you inevitably return to normal eating habits, your body urgently stores energy, leading to rapid fat regain. You often end up with a higher fat-to-muscle ratio than when you started. Basically, extreme deprivation literally trains your body to hold on to fat.
Section 2. Your body's weight thermostat, the biological defense.
Let's look at how this builds into our biological programming. It proves that your body isn't fighting you. It's actually trying to save you. Enter the set point theory. The whole concept here is that each person has a biologically programmed body weight. Your hypothalamus acts as a central regulator, working to maintain homeostasis. It's exactly like the thermostat in your living room. If your weight drops drastically because of a crash diet, that internal thermostat kicks in. It lowers your energy output and ramps up your appetite to fiercely resist that extreme weight loss and keep you alive. Now, the modern evolution of this concept is super interesting. We're moving away from the idea of a rigid set point, like a single fixed biological weight, to what's called a flexible setting zone. This is a dynamic range. It shows that while our bodies definitely resist sudden extreme changes, they absolutely can sustainably adapt over time through consistent, long-term habits, our environment, and our daily activity.
Section 3. Leptin, ghrelin, and hunger, the internal messengers.
So let's look at the specific hormones that enforce that setting zone. It really comes down to understanding this simple brake and accelerator system. First up, leptin. It's produced by your fat cells and signals fullness. Think of it as your body's brake pedal. Ghrelin, on the other hand, is produced in your stomach and signals hunger. That's the accelerator. When we crash diet, our leptin drops and our ghrelin spikes. Your body essentially takes its foot off the brake and slams the accelerator right to the floor, turning you into a biologically ravenous, snack-seeking machine.
Section 4. The power of intuitive eating, a paradigm shift.
If strict diets are just throwing our hormones into absolute chaos, we need a major paradigm shift away from those strict rules. A fantastic lens to view this through is the Health at Every Size, or HAES philosophy, which is supported by the Association for Size Diversity and Health. They advocate for healthcare that's actually centered on overall well-being and body autonomy. They emphasize compassionate care and strongly suggest moving away from anti-fat bias and rigid BMI restrictions. Health exists on a continuum, and everyone deserves inclusive care.
As their principles powerfully state, each person is the expert of their own body and must have the right to make autonomous decisions about their health and well-being. And true healing really starts right here. It starts by reclaiming autonomy over your own body and making choices because you care for yourself, not because you're punishing yourself. This perfectly aligns with intuitive eating. Developed by dietitians back in 1995, this evidence-based framework rejects diet culture entirely. Instead, it encourages you to actively listen to your body's natural hunger and fullness cues without moralizing food. That means no more labeling things as strictly good or bad. It's all about rebuilding your mental well-being and, honestly, your self-trust.
Section 5. Superfoods for hormone balance, fueling the setting zone.
Okay, now we're shifting focus to applied nutrition. Let's talk about what actual foods act as the best fuel to stabilize those internal hormones. Here are some incredibly effective hormone-balancing superfoods: quinoa, nuts, avocado, salmon, and legumes. But why are these so good for you? Well, they're naturally rich in proteins, fiber, and healthy fats. That specific nutritional profile is the absolute perfect fuel to naturally boost your leptin, pressing the brake on your appetite, while simultaneously quieting your ghrelin, easing off that accelerator. Eating a balanced meal with things like quinoa and nuts is going to keep you satisfied way longer than a highly restrictive, low-calorie snack ever could. Section 6. Daily mindful nutrition habits. Putting it into practice.
Knowing the science is one thing, right? But putting it into practice is the real key. As we go through these, I want you to kind of reflect on your own daily routines. Mindful eating is all about sensory engagement. Take a moment to actually smell your food before eating. Notice the texture in your mouth and choose slowly. Crucially, try to eat without the TV blaring and maybe even leave your phone in another room. Removing those distractions allows your brain to fully register the fullness signals your body is sending. And hey, don't forget about sleep. Prioritizing 7 to 8 hours daily is absolutely critical for keeping those hunger hormones perfectly balanced. So, as we wrap up our class today, I want to leave you with this provocative question. Are you ready to trust your body's signals today? It's time to step off the yo-yo diet roller coaster for good. Stop fighting your biology, start listening to that internal thermostat, and embrace mindful, balanced nourishment. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer, and here's to finding your true balance.